Ready?
Good afternoon and welcome to Teamworks. Today I'll be reviewing with you the curriculum for squashing stereotypes. So basically the goal of our session today is to allow you and your team to examine the concepts of stereotypes while providing cultural understanding and acceptance. So we're going to move right into our questions of the day. Unlike in the past, today our question of the day is two parts. So the first question of the day is, suppose you were standing outside a courthouse, you saw a gentleman super well dressed, he had on a nice suit, nice shoes, very clean cut, very well groomed, he's carrying a briefcase. What would some of your impressions or assumptions about him be? Okay, next question. Say for instance, you saw the same man in the same suit. He's very well groomed, but this time he has long hair, he has gold teeth or a grill, and he's wearing sneakers. What are some impressions that you'd have about this same guy, and how do you feel that some of your assumptions would change? Okay, so these are two really thought-provoking questions, so feel free to help the kids really explore how they would view these two men who are mostly the same but have some key differences. Alright, okay, we're going to move on to our Let's Have Fun. So our energizer for the day is called Clothing Bias. So in Clothing Bias, this is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have one group, you're going to split your team into two smaller groups. You're going to have one of them stay inside the classroom and the other one will go outdoors. Okay, so the team in the classroom is going to receive one picture. So the team in the classroom, for example, might receive a picture like this one of an image including a Santa Claus hat and a mustache or beard, okay? Then the team outside is going to receive a similar image, but there's going to be a key difference. So their image is going to include a turban and the same beard that we saw with the Santa. So two different groups, they're going to be separate and they're not going to be allowed to see each other's pictures. So make sure that you don't reveal the images to the other group. So what's going to happen is this. With the group inside, along with the group outdoors, you guys are going to explore some different questions. There are a number provided, but I'm just going to go over a few for you today. So, when looking at the Santa hat and the beard, you'll ask questions including, what kind of emotions instantly come to you when you see this picture? And the kids will probably say, oh, I think of fun, I think of gifts, I think of family time, something like that. You're going to ask the same questions of the group that has this image, this different image, the turban and the mustache. You'll ask them what kind of emotions instantly come to you when you see this picture. What has the media done to shape your image of either of these individuals? And then, have you personally known anyone who's looked like in either of these images? So again, each of these images are kind of similar, but then also kind of different. You're going to ask the same questions and you're going to get drastically different answers. So while each of the groups are having their discussions, make sure that someone's jotting down notes of what you observe about each of the different images. Bring everyone back together, and then as a large group, without revealing your pictures, you guys are going to share your impressions of the photo that you just received. So again, you're not going to put your pictures up and you're not going to label any of your notes. You'll either use a whiteboard or a piece of butcher paper, draw a line down the middle. So the team that has the Santa image, they may say, okay, some of our observations of this image were that, oh, it's fun, he's a fun guy, he's generous, he's very positive, he's portrayed positively. Okay, then the other group who had the turban, they may say something like, oh, when I see an image of a turban and a beard or a mustache, I am fearful, I think about terrorism, and in the media I primarily see negative images. So again, you're going to have a really healthy discussion about these two images who are very similar but also very different. After you guys have gone through your list, then you can reveal both pictures, because I'm sure both groups will be under the impression that they both received the same picture, but that isn't true. You're going to reveal both of them just like this, side by side, and then ask a few follow-up questions, including what's different about the two images, looking at our responses, what's similar about them, and so on. Okay? So that will lead you into our main activity of the day, which is called squashing stereotypes. So again, stereotypes are something that most of us have, and this exercise will hopefully help us explore why we have them and what we can do to address them. Okay? So what you're going to do is this. To begin, you're going to either on a whiteboard or a piece of butcher paper, label it at the top with a column that says man and then woman. Then you're going to have the kids, your team, come up with adjectives to describe, or stereotypes, if you will, to describe both men and women. So for example, the kids might say that men are typically thought of to be strong, sports-oriented, they might have bring home money, and maybe they're super active. Women, they might say, oh, women are emotional, they're nurturing, they raise kids, and they enjoy flowers, okay? You're going to have them write down as a group all of their different responses, and then you're going to ask them some follow-up questions to have them think about these things. A question will include, are you happy with the list you've created? Do you see any changes that you'd like to make? Do you see any words or descriptions that belong in the other column? Do you see any that apply to both? And so on. Then we are going to do an exercise in stereotyping. So the kids, I'm sure, are already aware of how we stereotype and categorize people. So you're going to provide them with an official definition of the word stereotype. You'll put that on the wall somewhere in the room where it's visible for everybody, and wrap up your conversation. After this portion of the exercise, you'll have the students divide into one of three groups or cliques. So these cliques will include nerds, emos, and skaters. And you might say, I don't know what any of that is. Trust me, the kids will totally inform you. You'll give each of the groups a sheet of butcher paper, and they will label their butcher paper, they'll label their sheet with the clique that they're supposedly a part of. So if this is the nerd clique, they'll draw a picture of what they would say, stereotype a nerd to look like. And then they'll draw a line down the middle. On the other side, they'll come up with a list of descriptions to describe a nerd. So it can include things like smart, horrible at sports, a loner, likely to be successful, and so on. So the emo and skater groups are going to do the same thing, and then once everyone's done with their drawing and their descriptions, you're going to bring them together and allow them to have a really healthy conversation about all of the different stereotypes that they came up for three different categories of groups. And then they can discuss whether or not they think some of those are true, false, and then why. Okay? So please do end up your session with a Let's Talk question, because every week we provide you guys with some really helpful questions to guide your discussion. And feel free, if you see questions that aren't listed here, to add your own as well. Always, if you have any questions, feel free to refer to your program coordinator. Enjoy your session.